Mars has been watching us for a long time. We named it after a god of war. We pointed telescopes at it and saw canals. We sent probes and found riverbeds. We drilled into its surface and found organics. We measured its atmosphere and found methane, rising and falling with the seasons, as if something down there was breathing. The official answer has stayed the same for 50 years. Unconfirmed, ambiguous. We'll get back to you. But what if we already did? What if the mission happened? The samples came back. The lab went quiet. And someone in a room with no windows made a decision that altered the course of human history without asking a single person on Earth. This is Parallel. And tonight, what if we found life on Mars and buried it?
Parallel takes one what if and follows it wherever it leads. Like and subscribe if you want to come with us. Let's begin.
I was there for Apollo. I was backroom. Guidance, navigation, the choreography no one remembers. The moon changes a person's idea of distance. It turns the word impossible into a scheduling problem. After Apollo, the money dried up in daylight, but kept moving in the dark. We called it contingency planning. Denied request budgets have a way of reappearing. Someone came with a proposition, a conjunction class profile that on paper worked. Assemble in orbit under cover of other flights. I won't name the island we used. I won't name the contractor whose hardware we borrowed. I won't tell you the name of the pilot who didn't come home. We touched down in a basin that once held water. You could see the delta fans like ink stains across the plane. Simple rules: don't stay long. Take the course. Keep the cabin sealed. On Sol 2 we drilled under a basalt cap. On Sol 3 the bio team stopped talking. What did we see? Not cities. Not little green men. A film, like frost, receding from our heat, then blooming back. Chemistry or something else. We argued all the way up the gravity well. Back on Earth, the debrief was clinical. Congratulations, condolences, protocols. The lab work was compartmentalized, then recategorized. Everyone had a new clearance level and a new reason to forget. They'll tell you we haven't been. They might even believe it. Both things can be true.
The first question is always, could it be done? You cannot quietly launch a 500-ton rocket, but you can distribute the mass. Assemble in orbit, file it under, acronyms. Defense launches already vanish into classified manifests. Amateur trackers see a lot. They don't see everything. And in the 1970s, they saw far less. Nuclear thermal propulsion had been ground-tested to high performance before its cancellation. A conjunction-class mission with shortened transit. Higher radiation exposure, shorter surface time, the kind of risk that produces memorial plaques instead of press conferences. Deep space network antennas are public, but access is allocated. Military dishes exist. A black mission could transmit less and store more. The silence would be part of the plan, and here is the detail that makes it plausible, rather than merely possible. Planetary protection rules, the protocols that govern what we can bring to Mars and what Mars can send back, exist precisely because of what we might find. If you find something living, the easiest way to protect both planets is not to tell nearly 8 billion people you found something. Quarantine the data, quarantine the samples, quarantine the truth, and wait for a moment. That never quite arrives. Consider what the data already shows, officially. Viking 1 and 2 landed in 1976 with the first dedicated life detection experiments. One of them, the labeled release experiment, registered a response that its principal investigator maintained until his death looked biological. NASA called it ambiguous soil chemistry, filed it under unconfirmed, moved on. In the decades after, the evidence kept arriving. Ancient lake beds, clay minerals, organics preserved in billion-year-old rock, seasonal methane spikes at Gale Crater, radar reflections at the South Pole interpreted by some as subglacial brines. The official line held steady. Ancient habitability probable. Present life unconfirmed. If you already knew the answer, that is exactly what you would say. We'll get back to you, soon. If you already knew, you would also keep saying soon. Soon buys time. Here is the uncomfortable pattern. Every civilization that has searched for life beyond Earth eventually encounters silence. The Soviet Venera program photographed Venus's surface and transmitted data for minutes before the heat killed the landers. Some of those images were disputed for decades, some remain classified. China's Tianwen-1 mission landed on Mars in 2021. Its Zhurong rover operated for nearly a year, then went silent. The explanation, hibernation mode, awaiting a dust storm's end. Zhurong has not resumed contact. The explanation has not changed. We are not suggesting these silences are coordinated. We are suggesting they rhyme, because the logic of discovery and the logic of secrecy produce identical behavior from the outside. Careful science looks like a cover-up. A cover-up looks like careful science. The only way to tell them apart is to be in the room when the decision is made. And none of us were. Imagine the room, not the laboratory, not the launch pad. The room where someone looks at the data and decides what happens next. If the bio team stopped talking on Sol 3, someone eventually had to start talking again. To someone with authority, who then had to decide. Tell the world, life is not unique to Earth. Mars has its own biology. Everything you believe about your place in the universe requires revision. Or don't. Because a microbe harmless on Mars might be opportunistic here. Don't. Because the first question every government asks is whether it's a weapon. Don't. Because you cannot announce a second Genesis on a Tuesday and hope for the best. Don't. Because the site is fragile and a million boots would destroy it. Don't, because we're not ready. And here is what keeps the question alive. Every single reason to stay quiet is also a perfectly good reason to stay quiet forever. There is no obvious moment when we become ready. There is no threshold at which the secret becomes safe to tell. The decision once made makes itself again, every single day. Maybe we went because that's what we do when the map says, "Here be dragons." Maybe we stayed quiet because our first encounter with alien life was not a handshake. It was a petri dish fogging over in a cold lab at 3 in the morning. Maybe the secret isn't that Mars is alive. Maybe the secret is that we're not ready for it. Or maybe the simpler explanation wins. We haven't gone. The data is ambiguous because biology is hard to prove. The silences are institutional caution, not conspiracy. And the distance between Earth and Mars is measured less in kilometers than in courage, and we haven't found enough of it yet. Both cases fit the evidence. Only one gives you an old engineer lying awake, listening to the sound of a drill and something he can't quite name, blooming back in the cold. Carter said both things can be true. He might be right. He might be the only person left. Who knows the truth? This was Parallel. If the question stayed with you, you're one of us. Like and subscribe and we'll see you in the next What If.